Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from wherever world you are joining in. Welcome to the info session on 2024 Denver Global Landing Pad. With that said, we have Ms. Stephanie, who is the Director of Business Development Opportunity at Denver Economic Development and Opportunity. We also have Mr. Srinivas Raghavan, U.S. Principal Commercial Officer from the Consulate General of Hyderabad. We have Sandy, Vice President of WTC Denver. We have Ms. Karen, President of WTC Denver. We have our Chairman Valprasad Reddy joining us online. Given that, I would request Mr. Srinivas Raghavan to make the welcome remarks and take this session.
Sure. Thanks, Vamsi. Hi, everyone. I'm Raghavan, as Vamsi has just introduced me. So I head the commercial section, the principal commercial officer here in the U.S. Consul General in Hyderabad. And we cover a territory roughly the 3 states of Central India as well as 11 states of East India. What do we do in the commercial service? Well, very briefly, we are here to represent American business interests, as well as help Indian businesses invest in the United States. And the one thing that I do know about, I've been in Hyderabad for about a year now, and I've already met several people who have expressed an interest in either investing in Denver or doing business with Denver, including I have a friend who I met, Dharmin. He's got a business that is developing electric bikes. He's going to invest. It makes it in India. He's investing in Denver to expand his operations. And there are many people like that I've met, and I think there's good reason for that. I was in Denver just 2 months ago. Wonderful city, and I know your city really well. And I spent a wonderful winter there skiing. So I am very I know exactly why Indian businesses might be interested in investing in Denver or partnering with Denver businesses. And for those of you who are looking at exporting your products to India, I would say the market here in Hyderabad is booming. It's a wonderful place to do business for Americans, for American companies, and if you do, we here, the commercial service, are here to help you with that. We help you find partners. We help you explore explore market opportunities for various products that you might have. We help you. We introduce you to regulators and decision makers in the government who can possibly help ease your expansion of your business into central India. So yes, please, as I said, we are here to help you. If you need any advice or assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thanks, Vamsi. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Raghavan. That's wonderful hearing from you. I would request now Sandy, Vice President of WTC Denver, to take over from here and introduce us to the Denver Economic Development and Opportunity team and the way forward of this session.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Vamsi, for putting this together and giving us a great Indian audience to talk a little bit more about our city, central in the United States, Denver, Colorado, and also to talk a little bit about a really innovative program that the city of Denver has come up with, our global landing pad. So again, thank you very much. The World Trade Center Denver is part of a global network of over 320 World Trade Centers around the globe. There are 40 World Trade Centers in India, Shamshabad being one. Locally in Denver, we are a business organization and a business resource, really convening the international business community. We are the global network in Denver, especially for international business professionals. We support startups, we support scaling companies and existing businesses, and our job is to connect them with business opportunities around the globe and to resources like the U.S. commercial services that can really be helpful in navigating new markets. So just recently, the World Trade Center Denver, we took a business delegation to the World Trade Center Association General Business Forum, and this year it was in Bangalore, India, and that's where we got to really get connected with Indian resources that really help startup companies and scaling companies. So we got connected to, again, Vamsi at this World Forum, and it really got us to start thinking through how we can attract more Indian startup companies to the United States and help them navigate a really big market, the United States, a very competitive market, the United States. So it was a really great opportunity for us to to start talking to Indian startup resources and sharing the global landing pad, which we're going to talk about as I turn the program over to our friends at the City of Denver. I'll introduce Stephanie Garnica, who is the director of a global business unit that really is a useful agency here for the City of Denver. There's not very many U.S. cities that have a global focused team that their job is to connect and create strong relationships around the world for many purposes. But one of them is to really look for international entrepreneurs around the world that are looking to enter the US and showing that Denver is a really logical and a great city to start your entree into the United States. So, Steph, I'll turn the program over to you so you can go a little bit more into what makes Denver a unique place for international entrepreneurs and really get into what the Global Landing Pad program is.
Sounds great. Thank you, Sandy. And I'll ask my colleague Martine if he can share the screen. We do have a bit of a presentation just to help you understand a little bit more about Denver, about our city, some of the advantages of doing business here. But before I go into that, I did just want to thank the World Trade Center Shamshabad and Vamsi for putting this together. We really appreciate the opportunity. And we're so grateful for the World Trade Center network. It is vast, it is impactful, and we're fortunate in Denver to have a really strong World Trade Center organization that, as Sandy said, really helps our global business community come together, get to know each other, and helps elevate the value and importance of foreign trade and investment around the world. So we use them a lot. We work with them and collaborate. And having just been in India, it's really helpful to have some hands on the ground or feet on the ground experience with understanding your marketplace a little bit better, to then make sure that this presentation is relevant to you. But we recognize that Denver isn't always the first place in the US that international business people think about. It's maybe not as well known as some of the coastal cities, but it is in the center of the US. So strategically, it's a great location for companies around the world to base their company from, because from Denver, as you'll see on one of our slides, it's easy to get to other places. It's very friendly and welcoming. And our goal within the city is really to help set international business people up for success. And what's unique about India this year is that we have a couple of city leaders who are originally from India, and they have worked hard to welcome the Deputy Chief of Mission of the Indian Embassy here in the US to come to Denver next week. We'll have two big Indian festivals here, a Taste of India that will happen in July to celebrate the 40-year anniversary of Denver's sister city relationship with the city of Chennai, and then another festival for India that's happening next weekend to coincide with the visit of the Deputy Chief of Mission of the Embassy. So lots of Indian connections in the community, which also really help when people coming from India make their way here, just to know that there is a community here of people from your home country who, if you need anything, you can certainly tap into them. So with that, I'll just say, welcome to Denver. This is a picture of our city skyline and one of our parks. And then I'll go into a little bit about the office that my colleague Martine and I work for. So City of Denver's Economic Development and Opportunity Office. And within our office, we have these 7 different divisions. So the whole purpose of having different divisions is that collectively with each of our specific roles, we can really help our economy thrive and help companies tap into resources that they need depending upon their size, depending upon where in the city they're located, who they might need to hire to fill jobs that they have available and to ensure their company's success. So the team that I represent is Global Engagement, which is all about helping our international incoming business people and even government representatives get set up for success by introducing them to fellow city entities that can help them, or external partners like the World Trade Center Denver and other groups in the community that all play a role in helping companies be successful. And next slide, please. So a little bit about who we are as the Global Engagement team. It's myself, You'll meet Martine. He'll pick up the presentation here in a few slides, and then our other colleague, Vanessa Simsick, who's not able to join us this morning. But really, these are the functions that our team has. So we are promoting our city as a great destination for international companies to land and establish operations. We act as a resource here in the city for anything international. So really that international affairs team and also the diplomacy team. So because we work with all other city agencies, whether it's our climate action sustainability team, transportation and infrastructure and mobility, public health and environment, our airport, arts and venues, we can help incoming international visitors get connected to the right city agency depending upon what they're looking to do. And here is an economic snapshot of Denver to help you better understand the makeup of our city. So as the capital city of the state of Colorado, our city itself has a little over 700,000 people. But when you look at the whole metropolitan area of Denver, which is inclusive of other cities that sit at the base of the mountains, we're about 3.2 million people. So our whole entire state is 5.2 million people. And it's a big state. So we have a lot of land that makes up Colorado. Half of our state is the Rocky Mountains, which are pretty well known around the world as a great destination to come and ski. But then Denver sits right at the base of the mountains. So even though we're not in the mountains per se, we're still considered a high elevation city. So we sit at 1 mile above sea level, which is around 1.8 kilometers above, 1.8 kilometers above sea level. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Maybe I'm not doing the translation properly. 1,800 meters above sea level. I'll put it that way. I'm not doing math well this morning. Apologies. Anyway, needless to say, we are considered a high elevation city. So we are the mile high. Our population continues to grow because of our thriving economy. We are a city that doesn't rely on any one particular industry. So down below on this slide, you'll see what makes up our industry clusters. And because they are so diverse, it means that we are not reliant on any one of them. So we have a lot of, because all industries are cyclical, they offset each other and balance each other out. And so we consistently have a very strong economy, a high employment rate, and we're an attractive landscape that attracts people from all over the world that are oftentimes looking for a reason to come to Denver and be able to live and work here. So we've grown by about 19% in terms of population over the last decade. We have a high median household income of $85,000 US. We have a diverse business base. So just the city and county of Denver is home to over 40,000 businesses. We have just bumped up in rankings to be the most highly educated community in the US. So that's in terms of people that have a bachelor's degree or higher. So we're number one in the state, and that well-educated workforce also leads to or contributes to our diverse industry base and strong business ecosystem, because companies can find the talent here that they need to fill the jobs and be a successful operation. As a state, we're a very business-friendly place to set up operations. We've been ranked the 4th best state for business, and we typically rank within the top 5 in the whole US. We're also the number 1 state for female entrepreneurs. And what that means is that there are many resources here to help women entrepreneurs get access to capital, get access to mentors, to sound advice, and other government resources, tools, and investment opportunities to be able to grow their company. And then I'll quickly review, even though I know you can see them, but what our diverse industry clusters are made up of. We do have some advanced manufacturing here. We are a big aerospace hub. Ag tech, so the state of Colorado itself is a very strong agricultural state. But what we see in Denver the capital city is that a lot of technology for the agricultural sector has been created and deployed from here. We have a strong life science sector, a robust energy sector made up of both the traditional oil and gas type of energy, but also a lot of renewable energy and clean technologies that are developed here, and tie into our great ecosystem of federal laboratories that focus on different industries, one of which is the National Renewable Energy Laboratory that's housed just a little bit outside of Denver and is a great resource for the clean tech and renewable energy community. We have a large finance and professional services sector, which also ties into the fintech sector that's been growing here, healthcare and wellness, outdoor recreation, hospitality. So we are a big tourism state because of the active outdoor lifestyle that we're really known for. And that also pertains to the outdoor recreation. So both the tourism side, but also companies that are creating products that pertain to the outdoor recreation. So companies that are making different types of bikes or bike helmets or winter sports attire, different types of skis, also healthy snacks for an active lifestyle. So a lot of things pertaining to the outdoor recreation are developed, created, and launched from here. And then we're a huge tech and innovation hub, which we understand India is as well. And with the Global Business Forum that the World Trade Centers organized in Bangalore just in March of this year, we learned a lot about the fabulous tech sector there and lots of innovation happening. So we feel like there's a really good fit that we can leverage there with that tech and innovation piece. Some economic indicators, again, just to help paint the picture of what Denver's economy is all about. We have a low unemployment rate. Our sales and use tax, that really indicates the strength of our economy by consumer purchases. Our airport has 78 million or had 78 million passengers that traveled through it in 2023. And that surprises a lot of people because we are not a coastal city. We're not as big population-wise of a city or state as other places. But because we are in the center of the US and because our airport has so much space to grow and is really proactive at seeking new routes and destinations, we are the third busiest airport in the US and sixth busiest in the world, with room to grow and numbers projecting that by the year 2030, we'll have close to 100 million passengers traveling through our airport. So that is also really conducive to what makes our economy so vibrant and terrific for companies to land and grow, is that you have a really well-connected airport and can get anywhere in the US and really in the world through it. So a consumer index that reflects the consumer sentiment about our market. So it still remains fairly high. Our hotel occupancy numbers are going up. COVID certainly impacted hotel occupancy around the world, but Denver's numbers are steadily increasing and at least maintaining around 80%. And then our inflation is going down. So that's a good sign too. I wanted to talk a little bit about the IT sector, knowing that that is a strong one in India and one where we see a lot of potential to be able to collaborate. But Colorado does have a strong information and technology sector that probably originally was based on the telecommunications and cable television sector, both of which had leaders that were here in Denver that were some of the pioneers in those two sectors. And then from there, software companies spun out from them, a lot of data storage companies spun out from them. And then even from there, a lot of those founders went on to become entrepreneurs in that tech space. So it helped diversify our technology sector and led to a lot of innovation happening. So you can see that a lot of our state's total employment is based on the IT sector. We have a lot of local organizations that help and contribute to us having a strong tech sector, but also lobbying on behalf of policy that's favorable to the tech sector, skilling people with whatever skill sets they need to be able to land jobs in the tech sector. So not only do we have a strong tech sector in terms of the companies that are here and the diversity within them, but we also have many organizations listed at the bottom of the slide that also feed into and contribute to us having a really strong and diverse technology sector and ensuring that those tech companies are set up for success. Denver is the 11th best city for tech jobs based on a 2022 survey. We continue to rank high among universities with Denver and then Boulder, which is a neighboring city about 30 minutes from us, being really big and strong tech hubs with a variety of jobs, both on the startup side, but also in the more well-established technology side. Average wages in the tech sector are high here. And in terms of employment concentration, Denver ranks as number 5. So lots of tech companies here, and they're diverse. They pay well, they attract people to our city, to our community, and then they go on to grow and thrive because we have so many resources here in the community to help them be successful. And our startup ecosystem, so I was saying a little bit before that the technology sector has really contributed to us having a strong startup ecosystem because we had kind of the backbone of the cable television and the telecommunications industries that then fed into there being a strong software ecosystem, data storage companies. And then from there, a lot of those founders and employees went on to become founders and entrepreneurs for other tech companies. And so those had to start somewhere. So they started as startups. They contributed and supported each other. And then they went on to grow. And then from there too, additionally with our startup ecosystem are many investors that are here. And everyone thinks of the Silicon Valley as being the real hotspot for the startup community, investors, venture capital. But Denver, not to say that we are the Silicon Valley, but we have our own unique makeup of what contributes to us having such a dynamic startup ecosystem. So universities that have programs developing future entrepreneurs, to unicorns in the city, in the community. So 12 unicorns, which a unicorn is a company valued at $1 billion US or more. And then those companies too are super active, knowing that they started as a startup, as an entrepreneur, but now they've gone on to grow and become very successful financially and in terms of brand recognition and being one of our unicorns, that they also like to give back and help future entrepreneurs tap into the resources or guidance they need to become bigger companies. So both our unicorns, our universities, and our government resources that are in place to provide services and support the entrepreneurial community all lead to there being a really dynamic startup ecosystem here.
Perfect. Well, then I can jump in and talk about our Global Landing Pad program. And so the Denver Global Landing Pad, what it is, it's a 3-day business accelerator program that really provides a holistic or a comprehensive overview of how to do business in Denver. And so our team, in collaboration with the World Trade Center Denver, so Sandy and Karen's team, really created this accelerator because we were working with so many international companies that were considering US expansion. And they oftentimes had a lot of questions, and many of those questions were the same. So we really determined or decided that if we could create an accelerator program that just answered a lot of those questions all at once, that it would be an overall a really great tool for international companies that are considering US expansion. So as I said, it's a 3-day business accelerator program. This year, it will happen from September 11th to September 13th. So that's a Wednesday through Friday. The program includes a whole bunch of different workshops, sessions, and speakers that will discuss topics that range from legal requirements on creating a company, how to navigate international tax issues, how to legally hire and fire people in the US, how to market specific to a US audience, among a whole wide range of other topics as well. So as we said, we really try and provide a holistic or comprehensive overview, and answer a lot of the questions that you may have all at one time. In addition to those sessions that talk about a lot of those topics, we also pair up each of the companies with 3 to 5 experts in their field. And so these 3 to 5 experts, they can be lawyers, they can be CEOs, fellow founders of startup and successful scale-up companies. They may be tax experts. They're a pretty diverse group, but we try and pair each company up with 3 to 5 mentors, and tailor them to make sure that we're matching up the companies with the right people who we believe can help the companies. The companies then have the opportunity to partake in a 90-minute pitch session with those local experts. The pitch sessions aren't necessarily to pitch for venture capital or for funding, but rather to pitch and say, this is our product, this is our service, here's what we do. With you knowing the Denver market, what advice do you have for us, or what recommendations do you have? And we've gotten a lot of really good feedback about these sessions. And we've even had some companies that have really significantly altered their go-to-market strategy or their business strategy after having, learned more about Denver and the US. So in addition to that, so as I said, it's from Wednesday to Friday. We ask the companies to save through the weekend. There's plenty of fun activities to do in Denver, and we typically try and organize some fun activities as well. So last year we went to Colorado Rockies game. So there's always fun stuff included in the program. But then that next week, there's a group experience at Denver Startup Week. And so to talk a little bit about, let's see if I can get it to go to the next slide. To talk a little bit about Denver Startup Week. Denver Startup Week is the largest free entrepreneurial event of its kind in North America. And it's really a celebration of everything entrepreneurial in Denver. So this slide, that picture on the top right, is a picture of our mayor speaking at Denver Startup Week. And then below is a panel at Denver Startup Week. And the woman on the left-hand side of the panel is actually our chief of staff, Denver Economic Development and Opportunities chief of staff. But at Denver Startup Week, it's a really great opportunity to network, to meet other professionals in Denver, and also to learn as well. So there's a whole, really a lot of sessions, a lot of different business tracks throughout the week. There's workshops, happy hours, other events, and celebrations. So as I said, it's a really great opportunity to network and to really immerse yourself in the business ecosystem here in Denver. And Denver Startup Week is continuing to grow. So we're expecting that this year we'll have a really great attendance. Of course, the pandemic kind of hit in-person events all across the board. So Denver Startup Week was not immune to that, but we've been growing ever since the pandemic. So you can see that increase in attendees since 2022. And again, as I said, we're really expecting this year to have even more folks. There's a whole bunch of companies that are represented and attend as well. So as I said, it's a great networking opportunity. So I want to talk a little bit towards the end of this presentation about some of the business advantages to, highlight some of the things that Sandy mentioned, that Stephanie mentioned, that are really strong pulls for Denver. And one of the strongest pulls for Denver is really just our highly educated and talented workforce. So as Stephanie mentioned, we're the most highly educated community in the US. And we're always in the top 3. But one of the things that we've heard from companies is that it's pretty easy compared to some other markets that we compete with to hire really exceptional talent here in Denver. Both because there's so many highly educated folks here, but also, if there's people that companies can't find here, it really isn't that challenging to attract people to Denver, as you've seen how earlier in the presentation, just how fast we've grown. We're a very popular destination because of our quality of life and other other advantages that I'll talk about in the next few slides. And one of the real reasons that we have such a highly educated workforce is just our network of educational institutions here. So we have, as the slide says, the 5 degree conferring institutions in Denver. So we've got CU Denver, or the University of Colorado Denver. We've got the University of Denver, Metropolitan State, and then on Aurora, the Aurora Higher Education Campus, which is on that photo there. That includes 3 different campuses. So Metro State, CU Denver, and the Community College of Denver all co-locate on that campus. So it's even just geographically an area where a lot of innovation is focused. One of the other business advantages that's really important, especially for businesses, is that we have a very affordable cost of living and a cost of doing business. So as was mentioned earlier on the call, oftentimes Denver isn't necessarily the first location that international companies think of when they think of expanding in the US. Oftentimes, companies first think of San Francisco, maybe LA, maybe New York, or even Houston, or Chicago. But one of the things that we see is that when compared to a lot of those markets, we really run ahead of the pack. So if you look at our corporate income tax rate, we're at 4.4. And then when you compare us to our competitors, New York 7.25, Illinois 9.5, Massachusetts 8, California 8.84, we're much more affordable. And that's also true with our combined sales tax, our effective property tax, and our effective property tax. When it comes to our overall business affordability score, or our place on the index, we're 21st. So we're in the top half of the US. And so there are some locations that are cheaper than us, but really the places that are cheaper than us, we feel that we're much more competitive just because of some of our other business advantages, such as our highly educated workforce, quality of life, etc. One of the other business advantages that was mentioned earlier as well is just our connectivity. So as was mentioned earlier, we have a very strong airport, 6th busiest airport in the world and 3rd busiest in the US. This airport is very strategically located, and there's so many nonstop flights. So there's 31 international nonstop flights, and much more when you look at the domestic level as well. So from Denver International Airport, you can travel to really any other major city in the US within a few hours. And then in addition to that, there's so many nonstop flights to other places outside of the US. So we've actually recently announced 2 new nonstop flights. So one to Dublin that will be happening soon, and then one to Istanbul as well. So we're continuing to expand, and the airport is continuing to have conversations to create more nonstop flights. And that really facilitates business connections and ease of doing business. And then one thing that I'll also note on this slide as well is that it's really not just our airport that is a business advantage as well, but it's also just our general strategic location. When you also think of time zones can be pretty convenient in Colorado and Denver as well. So we share parts of our business day with all of the Americas, but then we also have parts of our business day that we share with East Asia, Australia, in New Zealand, as well as Western and Central Europe. And then one of the business advantages that we're probably most well known for is our just really high quality of life. So there's so many outdoor activities here in Denver. There's a really thriving culinary scene. And then there's also a really thriving arts and culture as well. So we've got 6 professional sports teams here in Denver, and then 3 of those have actually won national championships in the past decade. And right now, our hockey team, the Colorado Avs, and our basketball team, the Denver Nuggets, are in the playoffs as well. So pretty exciting time. But if you're a sports fan, we're a great place for that. As I mentioned, our culinary scene, we had 6 James Beard finalists in 2022, and then we've had 3 Michelin star restaurants in Denver. We've got 4 national parks just outside, we've got 4 national parks here. We've got 26 world-class ski resorts. So if you're into outdoor activities, that's perfect. As I said, we also have a thriving arts and culture scene. So a lot of works of art in the Denver Art Museum, and there's always rotating exhibitions as well. We've got 396 craft breweries. So if you like beer, Denver's a great place for you. And then we also have 58 peaks that are over 14,000 feet in elevation. So we call those 14ers. And there's even a lot of folks here in Denver and the Denver metro area that will attempt or succeed at climbing all 58 14ers. And then a whole bunch of hiking trails as well. And so those are really some of the business advantages that we wanted to highlight. We also just wanted to share the opportunity of the Global Landing Pad program. We would love for any of you all to be able to participate in the Global Landing Pad program in Denver Startup Week. The application for that, I forgot to mention, it is open until the end of May, or towards the end of May. And so if you're interested, please apply. We would love for you to join. And if you have any questions, we're always willing to answer those as well. But I think that's all I have. So I can hand it over to Steph or Sandy or Vamsi. I can hand it back to you as well.
Sandy, you want to take? Or if any of the guests joining here, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and we can take up those questions. Or if you prefer to use the chat window, you can type in the chat window.
I think as we wait for questions to come in, oh, sorry, we do have a question.
Yes,
Please
Mr.
go ahead.
Thaplin, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hi there, I'm Dharman Sethi. In fact, I am from Hyderabad, India, and I'm currently in Denver, Colorado. So I just moved here, just about a month ago. And, we run India's largest public bike sharing company. It's known as Smart Bike Mobility. And we're in 4 different cities in India, in New Delhi, Chandigarh, and Chennai. And, we have like a fleet of electric and non-electric bicycles, and we're running, our public bike sharing operations there. And we wanted to expand our business here into the US. And I found Denver, Colorado to be the most ideal city. So, we moved over here, and then now we're looking at, expanding our business here with selling our electric bicycles, they're, to the highest quality. So we see that opportunity, and thank you for the presentation. I think, we'd love to collaborate with the city, and eventually we'd also like to launch our a robust public bike sharing system here in Denver. I see that Denver is focusing a lot on the cycling infrastructure, see more and more biking tracks. So really love seeing that grow and expand into the city more. That's I'd love to connect, as I'm here and I've recently moved here. I'm glad that there's the landing pad, the Denver Startup Landing Pad. I would definitely like to participate in that. However, if there is a weekly session where startups meet up, I'd like to collaborate and then network sooner than later. Thank you.
Thank you, Dharman. I mean, this is most happiest moment for me. At least when we when we were discussing in the first call that, okay, who would we bring from India to this Denver landing pad? Okay, now I think I have one application ready already. I'm the most happiest person on this call now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Darman, would you mind putting your email in the chat, and then Martine and Sandy and I can follow up and even schedule time to get together to meet you since you're here in person. And even though you are already here, we have had some companies in the past participate in the global landing pad where maybe they had just relocated to Denver or just opened up their company here, but they still needed a lot of assistance and had questions and were looking to interact and meet people here in the community. So even though you're already here, I'm glad you're still interested in applying, because the program offers a lot and can really help companies just learn more, build out networks and connections, and have a better understanding of our city and all the resources available to help them.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, this is a great time because we're just getting started. We just received, our fleet of electric bicycles for sale. We, set up our warehouse and then office space. So, yeah, had to, recruit our first employee and then get started here. But
Thank you, Dharman. I think we have one question in the
thank you.
chat. Who is eligible to apply? I mean, the stage of the startups eligible to apply.
That's a great question. And boy, I think we've seen early startups that have succeeded in their home market or started in their home market, but know that they definitely want to use the United States as to grow. So we've seen very early stage with 1 or 2 employees in their home country. We've seen that, but then we've also seen companies that have been extremely successful in their home market take part in the program as well, because again, they really want to start to grow in the United States. So I know that's not really a concrete answer, but it really is a nice wide range of companies that have participated and has succeeded in the program. Steph, Martine, any
Yeah, I can
additional
jump in as
comments?
well. Yeah, I echo everything that you said, Sandy. I would say one of the things we do recommend that companies be earning some revenue in their home market to make sure that they're feasibly able to expand into the US. But I would say we would just recommend that you apply. There's no application fee or anything like that. So really, if you go through the application, it's a pretty simple application. Our team will then reach out to you, and then we can have a one-on-one call with you just to make sure that the program's a right fit, and that way that it's valuable for, the program is valuable for you. So I would say if you're unsure, just apply and then we'll follow up with you and, we can have a one-on-one conversation about it.
Fantastic. I have one question I have received to me directly from Amulya. Is it the success stories of the participants applied earlier featured anywhere? Can we get to read them?
We could share some. We haven't posted them per se, but we do conduct surveys, and this cohort that we'll be hosting in September of this year will be our 9th cohort. And each one ranges in size from maybe 10 to 15 companies. So we like to keep it small enough that the companies have the one-on-one attention that they need, but also gives them enough fellow cohort participants to build relationships with, but also from a mentor perspective, because part of the program does include a customized, curated mentor mix that advises the company and helps them with more of that go-to-market strategy. We tend to keep it small too, just so that we can make sure we have enough mentors for everyone and that everyone gets the time and attention they need. So we've had close to 100 companies go through the program over the last 8 cohorts. And of those, we see about 30% have gone on to establish operations in Denver, grow successful operations from here, hire people, and just become a really integrated community business leader.
Great. I have one question, one more. I'm from India. I have a team of 20, but my co-founder is currently pursuing her graduation in the US. So, who is the best person to apply for this?
That's
That's
a really good question. I mean, both of you?
Yeah.
Sometimes companies send more than one person.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it depends. If she's already here and could easily make her way to Denver, it might make it easier from a logistical perspective. But I will say, having just traveled to India, I mean, it really wasn't that difficult to get there. I happened to fly on United and then Lufthansa from Denver to Munich, and then Munich or Denver to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Bangalore, but also with our new flight on Turkish Airways via Istanbul, that could be another easy option to go from any city in India to Istanbul, and then Istanbul to Denver direct on the Turkish Airways flight. So lots of connectivity options for people that will be traveling here from India.
I have two last questions. I'm not sure why people are sending them to me. Okay, Nagaswapna, I'll take the person who raised the hand.
Thank you, Vamsi.
Nagaswapna, yes.
So I apologize. Basically, I joined late, so I couldn't listen to the entire presentation. So what I heard from Martin was I'm attending this from the marketing team of MapMinds. So we have AI-based solutions and also cloud transformations, CI/CD solutions, which are already, it's I could say it's a growth stage, not an early stage. What I heard when you're explaining is we are looking for use cases. Like we have a solution which is based on AI, which reads the manual documents and provides analytics and insights based on the analytics. And we have successfully executed this to Omega, which is one of the healthcare.
Swapna, in the interest of time, can you come to the question?
So what is the next step for me? Can I apply for this, or and is there any place where I can refer to the presentation, or is it going to happen sooner and the next any other time, because I missed the entire presentation? So
in continuation to
I'm
question, Swapna's question, Stephanie and Martin, I received a couple of comments on, can the presentation be shared with them? Yes, okay, I hear
Yes,
it. Yes.
Yeah.
And second is, who would be the right person to reach out from DEDO for getting in contact about this? Can I share any one of your email IDs?
Yeah, if you want to share my email, I can answer any specific questions about the program. I'm happy to do that.
Thank you. I think we'll take one last question. Maybe that is, can you explain the specific resources and services offered by City of Denver, especially for the international companies, in short? I think Martin,
you're muted, Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I will try to do it as concise as I can. But there's a whole lot of different tangible ways that the City of Denver can help you. First of all, there's incentives at the local level, which I'm happy to have one-on-one conversations about. There's our Global Landing Pad program. We can make warm one-on-one introductions to relevant folks in Denver. And then in addition to that, we can also help with the site selection process as well. So if you're looking at where to establish yourself, we can support with that as well. But yeah, Steph and Sandy, feel free to.
I'll just add a couple other things that within our office, we have the workforce services team. So they can help companies both promote their job opportunities, figure out ways to where do you advertise the job positions that would be open, How do you access people that have the skill sets that you're looking for? So they're another city resource that's available to help. And then what we do in conjunction with World Trade Center too is evaluate what industry are you coming from, what country are you coming from, and who do we know in our community that could be a good contact and resource for you, whether that is an industry association that aligns with the sector your company's in, whether it's a community of people from your home country, maybe it's an event happening where we can invite you to be our guest. So we try and tap into our local resources and network to help provide a really warm and soft landing. And because World Trade Center Denver, they host a number of events and activities throughout the year that brings the international business community together. We rely on them a lot and the great schedule of activities that they have lined up throughout the year to help welcome our companies and get them integrated.
I wouldn't add anything else. Thanks, Steph and Martin.
Thanks. I think that's calls for the call today. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Sandy. And thank you, Martin, for taking out your time on a Friday morning for you. And to all the delegates who have joined us on Friday evening, we have ensured that this is getting recorded and streamed live on our social media platforms. If any questions come in, I will ensure that they are compiled together and sent across to all of you so that you can get to answer them. And my special thanks to Karen for enabling this and bringing us on board. If there is a people's demand, we will definitely call for one more info session before the deadline, 31st May. So thank you so much, and we look forward. I think I have one of them already applying to it. So I hope we can get more. We will try our best to see if there are more Indian companies coming and applying for the Denver landing pad. Thank you so much.
Vamsi, thank you. Really appreciate the effort you put together to, again, bring everyone together. And we appreciate you very, very much.